Hello and welcome to Mythical Meeples. Today I'll be reviewing the Witch subclass, the Coven of the Hidden Moon, from Deep Magic Volume 2 by Kobold Press. So for those of you who don't know, Deep Magic 1 and 2 are supplements for D&D 5th edition from Kobold Press. As you'd expect, both focus heavily on magic, introducing new subclasses, as well as a new class in each book, the Theurge and the Witch. Each volume also contains hundreds of new spells, along with some new NPCs and other features. As I said before, today I'll be focusing on the Coven of the Hidden Moon, a witch subclass from Deep Magic 2. So traditionally, witches come together with other like-minded witches for power, knowledge and community, drawing on each other's strengths or driving each other through rivalry. In D&D, adventuring or meeting with a coven isn't always possible, and when applied to this class, the word coven can also be used to represent how witches practice their arts. This can include how they draw their power and which spirits they have an affinity for. The Coven of the Hidden Moon find their strength in the moon, as you might expect, especially when it's waning and new. They often have a love for the stars and night sky, and their powers reflect their ability to manipulate the light, granting them radiant or illusion spells. As you can see from the table, our Coven grants us features at 1st level, 6th level, 10th level, and 14th level. Among these features are the Coven spell list at 1st level and an upgrade to the Hex feature at 6th level. So at level 1, you get your Hidden Moon spells, you get Gift of the Moon, and you get Drawing the Moon as well. So you can see here your Coven spells are Guiding Bolt, Sleep, Misty Step, Moonbeam, Gaseous Form, Major Image, Greater Invisibility, Hallucinatory Terrain, Dream, and Seeming. These are very flavourful spells, fitting the theme of the Hidden Moon. They give you a lot of versatility that the witch doesn't usually have, as most witch spells rely on getting on close to the enemy. However, I feel they don't necessarily synergise as well with the rest of your class, especially your other spells, so may cause you some issues in that regard. The second feature we have is Gift of the Moon. So you gain dark vision out to a range of 30 feet, or increase the range of your dark vision by 30 feet if you already have it. So this is most useful on those races that don't start with dark vision, such as humans and Dragonborn, but there will be some cases where increasing your dark vision to 90 feet or even further will be useful, though most of the time 60 feet usually suffices. This is a strong ability for those without dark vision, whereas it's just more flavourable for those with. And your third feature you get at 1st level is Drawing the Moon. So once per short or long rest, you can activate this feature as an action, and then for the next minute, creatures gain disadvantage on attack rolls against you. If an attack hits you, however, the ability ceases to function until the start of your next turn. To me, I look at this feature as a variation on the Blur spell. It requires your action to activate, but doesn't require concentration to use it. However, if you are attacked by and hit by a creature, you temporarily lose the ability. At low levels, this could be really useful for keeping you alive and avoiding being hit when enemies have low attack modifiers. However, as your AC will likely be very low, unless you multi-class for armor proficiency or choose a race with armor proficiency, as you level up, it will be less and less effective, as the odds of being hit, even though you've got disadvantage, will still increase. It also doesn't benefit you against saving throws, which become more common as you face tougher enemies. On paper, it does look like a very good ability, and is an alternative to dodging every turn if you're concentrating on a spell, and that's how you choose to play. At 6th level, you gain Dead Spot. So when you target a creature with your Hex feature, it must make a Wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC. On a failed save, you're invisible to the creature for 1 minute. If you attack or cast a spell that affects the target, it can repeat the saving throw. It's worth noting, however, that your Hex feature does not apply to your Dead Spot saving throw. So being invisible to creatures is great, unless they have Blind Sight or True Sight, which at this level most creatures won't, but as you level up, they will do. And this gives your character a lot more durability. However, the invisible condition isn't as useful for this subclass. In one more level, you learn Greater Invisibility as part of your Hidden Moon spells. And your first level feature already offers you a way to impose disadvantage on attack rolls against you. Dead Spot is a good ability that becomes active relatively easily, but I feel that it's not that beneficial to this subclass, which already has access to similar abilities, and that means there's a lot of overlap with it. So at 10th level, we gain Glancing Shadows. So when you succeed on a saving throw against a spell that targets only you, whilst your Drawing the Moon glamour is active, you can use your reaction to force a creature within 5 feet of you to be targeted instead. So at first, this sounds like a really strong ability. You can redirect a spell against you. However, when you actually get down to it, this is very niche. It requires a very specific set of circumstances to come up. 1, your Drawing the Moon needs to be active. 2, you need to be the only target of a spell. 3, you need a hostile creature to be within 5 feet of you. And 4, you need your reaction to be available. Individually, each of these conditions isn't hard to achieve, but making them all line up at the same time isn't likely to happen very often, and it does depend on what enemies you fight. If you can make this work, then it's a great ability, but I can't see it happening all that often, if I'm honest, which for a level 10 feature does really suck. Finally, we have our 14th level feature, Empty Vastness. So once per long rest, you can use an action, and the creature within 60 feet of you must make a Wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC. On a failed save, the creature is incapacitated for 1 minute, or until you lose concentration. The effect also ends if the creature is moved or takes damage. So on paper, once again, this looks like a really useful ability. You have the potential to take an enemy combatant out of a fight, and can use your Hex feature to try and ensure it goes through. However, at level 9, many full spellcasters gain access to Hold Monster, a 5th level spell, which paralyses a creature and has a longer range, although creatures do make a saving throw against Hold Monster every turn. Empty Vastness, however, does work on undead, as it does have a little more versatility. Overall, I think this is rather lackluster for a 14th level ability, but it could be a great last resort, or if you're low on resources, or it could be much better for role-playing and, say, sneaking past guards if you need to. So my final thoughts. Overall, I love the theme of the subclass. You have a lot of light and dream-related abilities with radiant spells, illusion magic, and various glamours. I really wanted to enjoy playing as a Hidden Moon Witch, however I felt there was a lot of anti-synergy between the class and subclass abilities, as well as lots of overlap between many of the abilities as well, which meant trying to get the best out of the witch was really hard. The low level features feel very strong and useful, but I feel as you level up, you'll be using very little of your subclass. I could be missing something, but I felt underwhelmed by the subclass when playing it. I love the flavour of the Coven of the Hidden Moon, as it's by far my favourite subclass for the witch in terms of flavour, but mechanically it just doesn't sing for me. I do feel it would be fantastic for multi-classing into or out of the class though, and would like to try that at some point. You get a lot of abilities at level 1, and your Hex ability at level 3 is proficiency bonuses per short or long rest. So if you have 3 levels in Witch and then multi-class, you could end up getting a lot out of it, although you will obviously be delaying spell progression. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this review, hope you found it helpful. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It's always good to hear your feedback, and this helps me grow as a channel. If you want to see more from me, more D&D content or board game reviews, then head over to mythicalmeeples.com, where there's loads more content there. And if you want to support me in other ways, then you can support me on Patreon, where you'll gain access to even more content, sneak previews, and behind the scenes. There's links for both of those in the description below. Once again, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.